and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Gold opened the day at $1,285. Silver opened at $15.03. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,863. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the U.S. government ran an operation to screen journalists, activists, and others while investigating last year's migrant caravan from Mexico. That report came Wednesday from a San Diego TV station citing leaked documents. Mid-press news reports that dossiers that included photos from their passports or social media accounts, date of birth, and other details were kept in a database, and some freelance journalists had alerts placed on their passports and were flagged for secondary screenings at customs points. One freelance photojournalist was denied entry to Mexico for reasons that were never stated, according to KNSD-TV. The documents, in the form of dossiers and screenshots, were provided to NBC7 Investigates by a Homeland Security source on the condition of anonymity. Those listed as warranting secondary screening included 10 journalists, a U.S. attorney, and 47 people from various countries labeled as organizers, instigators, or unknown. A video of the Akili Police Department raiding the home of an innocent family, threatening a husband and wife, and ripping a baby from a mother's arms was apparently so disturbing that the entire department had to be suspended. The actions of the officers may now lead to their termination. That's according to Akili Mayor David Northcutt in a report from the Free Thought Project. The video footage consists of cell phone video as well as body camera video and paints a disturbing picture of how police act in Akili, Oklahoma. To view the video for more details, see this story at libertybeat.news and snls.news. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. This is the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Your news now continues. It's been over a year since then 18-year-old Anna Chambers accused two on-duty New York Police Department officers of raping her in the back of a police van on the night of September 15, 2017. As emphatically as she claims she was raped and did not consent to having sex with two police officers, she asserts that not only have the police continued to attempt to intimidate her, But the very justice system she looked to for help was set up to help the alleged rapists. Now, her claims have been proven correct. Both of the officers, Eddie Martins and Richard Hall, had faced up to 25 years in prison on the original rape and kidnapping charges. But the Free Thought Project reports this week they had all of those charges dropped. Because the system is set up in a way to protect predator police officers, the charges have been reduced to bribery and official misconduct. They have both since been released on their own recognizance. In his latest attack on transparency, President Donald Trump Wednesday rescinded a rule requiring U.S. intelligence officials to publicly disclose the number of civilians killed by drone strikes. Activist Post reports that Trump used an executive order to scrap the 3-year-old rule, which instructed the Director of National Intelligence to produce an annual report on all civilians killed by U.S. drone strikes outside of official war zones. Now that the rule has been canceled, critics fear that the Trump administration will be able to continue expanding the use of drone strikes overseas with even less oversight. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
As of today, the average cost of a pack of cigarettes has gone up to 2 handjobs and a stick of beef jerky. For more, we go now to Onion News Network prison economics expert Hal Rogan.
The prison economy runs on cigarettes. They're involved in every economic transaction at some stage, from contract killings to naked woman picture acquisition.
Right.
That's why we've got shampoo at 6 batteries. We've got tattoos at 50 commissary stamps.
Now, for what it's really like out there in the market, let's check in with major cigarette trader Big Dap Ramirez. Big Dap, nice to see you again.
Thanks, Rick. Good to see you. What's happening, Hal?
How's it going, Big Dap?
Now, it's obviously a boom time for cigarettes right now.
I'm getting a lot of
But
hand
with
jobs.
prices this high, analysis shows you're going to be seeing a drop-off in real sales soon as consumers turn to smoking grass fajos.
Look, we've been through this before. The market teaches us not to panic. But if I learn anything in this game, it's that a wife or girlfriend will pass off a few decks in the boneyard. Supply will normalize, and we'll see cigarettes returning to a single hand job or less.
Big Dap, best of luck to you. We'll keep checking in on the story with Hal throughout the day.
Thanks, Rick.
Moving on to some happier news. In Atlanta today, 2 snitches were beaten to death.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450 free is our toll-free number. And we'd love to hear from you, whoever you are, whatever political persuasion you are. We like to talk to everybody. And you don't even have to have a political persuasion. We like that even better. If you've just checked out of the system completely and said, this is all bogus, there is no sense in me casting a vote, we get a different bunch of crooks from the last time we got a different bunch of crooks, what's the point? We'd love to talk to you about that too.
That's still a political persuasion.
Is it?
Yes, they've just been persuaded that there's zero value in voting.
Okay, well, that makes sense. And thank you for joining me, Rich Paul.
Always happy to be here with you, bro.
And this is Chris. In studio, we have myself.
And I'm Ian.
Now, I think we've introduced...
I'm still Rich Paul.
You're still Rich Paul. Excellent. Well, it's good news if you happen to be in Utah. I'm not saying that facetiously. I mean, a lot of people... I've heard Utah's a beautiful state. I've never been there myself. But there is one aspect of Utah that I find a little troubling, and I didn't know this, but apparently it's been illegal to have sex unless you're married.
That doesn't really sound like a surprise, does it? I mean, it is Utah.
Well, it doesn't surprise me it's on the state books, but it would surprise the hell out of me if it actually passed constitutional muster.
Right.
Given Roe versus Wade, I really don't think they're going to manage to prosecute crimes against consensual heterosexual sex.
Well, also, are
I
they
don't know.
prosecuting?
Yeah.
When was the last prosecution for this?
Well, and they discuss that in the article. They say that it's pretty much unconstitutional. But that's not true. People get prosecuted for having consensual sex all the time. Maybe they're in the back of a car. Maybe they're in a very quiet park late at night.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly possible. I would be, and the Supreme Court has found that there's a compelling government interest in having, for example, people not having sex publicly. I would be very surprised if the Supreme Court upheld a basically no sex outside of wedlock.
Right. But to challenge that, you would have to have sex outside of wedlock and then go
and get caught.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the whole problem of civil disobedience as a technique. So civil disobedience is like poking a bear with a sharp stick.
Phrasing, Rich. You got to restate that sentence.
What did I say?
You said poking a bear, and I think that's a whole different set of laws that's probably still illegal in Utah.
No, this is a metaphor. Bro.
Okay. I thought
actually it's a simile because it uses like or as.
Okay.
I mean, it would probably be civil disobedience to poke a bear with a sharp stick in most states, depending on the type of bear.
Yeah.
But no, civil disobedience, I like to say, is like poking a bear with a sharp stick in order to demonstrate the danger of keeping and arming bears, because it works if the demonstration works if and only if the demonstrator is mauled.
Well, there you go. But in this case, we're not talking about poking bears. We're talking about, I guess we're just talking about poking, for lack of a better term. Sex for the unmarried in Utah may soon be legalized. So usually on this show, when we have conversations about legalization, we're usually talking about marijuana.
Sure.
But in this case, we are talking about premarital or
fornication.
Well, bring up to just about any subject, and I'll get around to legalization.
This is true.
Except, if it's not robbery, rape, or murder, legalize it.
Right.
With a stroke of a pen, no pun intended, sex for the unmarried in the Beehive State could soon be legalized. I did not know that Utah was known as the Beehive State.
I didn't either.
I learn something every time I do this show. And if you want to share what you've learned today, call us at 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number.
Or if you think fornication should stay illegal, I would like to hear from that person.
Man,
if you know whether or not the state was named for the animal or the hairdo.
This is
because I
true.
can see how Utah might be the Beehive hairdo state. I can imagine that.
Probably still.
Did the Mormons start that too?
I don't know.
The Beehive?
I don't know.
I thought it was just.
I think that's what happens when their magic underwear picks up too much static.
Oh man! A bill changing the criminal code in Utah may soon remove fornication as a Class B misdemeanor. Senator Karen Mine is the chief sponsor, while Representative Ray Paul is the sponsor in the state's House.
No relation.
You're sure? Okay, but I assume you would be behind this move. If it were Representative Rich Paul, you would be behind the move to remove fornication from the criminal code.
I would be. I would support removing the criminal code. So
I like that.
Sure,
he might be behind it and in front of it. Who knows?
Yeah,
there's just too many double entendres for one to deal with. It has been voted on and passed by both bodies, meaning it is only awaiting the signature of Governor Gary Herbert.
Both bodies.
If it becomes, see, we need a rim shot. Where's my soundboard?
There actually is. I can teach you about that. But.
No, don't. If it becomes law, it will remove the fornication clause, as it is obviously well known in Utah. It will remove the fornication clause from Utah's criminal code. It currently reads, quote, any unmarried person who shall voluntarily engage in sexual intercourse with another is guilty of fornication. 2.
Now, define intercourse.
Fornication is a Class B misdemeanor.
They probably do. There's probably a whole definition section.
I wonder. We may have to do that when we come up on our break. The current law is part of Chapter 7, Offenses Against the Family, meaning that those found guilty are punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a fine of $1,000.
But yet it won't be the family.
Is that true if you buff only one member of the family, or do you have to buff the whole family for it to be an offense against the family?
Oh, see, this is where these stories go.
If you buff the family, I think they bring a different charge against you.
Right. And a fine of $1,000. The law isn't pursued by police or prosecuted and is unenforceable, according to this article. I would tend to agree with that, as many laws are unenforceable, yet they still clutter up the books.
Isn't it funny that they would actually debate as to whether it's a good idea to remove an unenforceable law from the books? I mean,
the thing, Rich, was this? do you honestly believe this is the first time that anybody? I don't know this, and the article doesn't tell us. This is coming to us from KUTV, CBS affiliate in Utah, I'm assuming. But do you think this was the first time anybody ever said, you know, one of these days, we just got to get rid of that fornication clause? There's one of those laws that's always been there, nobody ever bothered looking at. Can you imagine how many of those there are?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if you follow Crime a Day on Twitter, you will be astounded at the number of things that these guys dig up every single day. There's a new crime of something absurd involving, you know, the transportation of mollusks while they're mating. I mean, it's always something completely insane.
Yeah, in Ann Arbor, Michigan, it's against the law to drive a horse down Main Street on Sunday.
Right.
This is not an often violated law.
But those are the types of things, and, you know, we've joked about them, but it's really sad that people could be prosecuted for these. All it takes is the right guy with a badge or the right prosecutor with nothing better to do, I guess.
Now, did you say that, if you said it, I missed it. Did it address when the last prosecution was for fornication?
It doesn't mention that here. And if I didn't want to lead Google to start pushing me really strange ads, I'd Google fornication in Utah just to see what it came up with.
Just
but
stay
I
out of
know.
the shopping section when you do that.
Oh my gosh, 855, 450 free. What do you think? Is there any excuse for many of the blue laws that probably sit on the books, even in your state? They certainly do at the federal level. We want to hear from you. Give us a call.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com. If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com. Free Talk Live.
I'm a supporter of law enforcement, and my boyfriend's a police officer.
What if there was a law passed that made cigarettes illegal? Would you also support your boyfriend going and raiding people's homes and businesses because they had some black market cigarettes?
Enforce laws if people are smoking cigarettes and they're not supposed to be?
Yeah.
Would he enforce them?
Yes.
Yes, he would.
Right, that's the problem. It's his job.
Can I go to a more extreme example then, Lindsay? What if it was like Nazi Germany in 1939 and Jews were illegal? Would your boyfriend go around and grab them and throw them into concentration camps because it was the law?
If it was his job, he would do it.
God.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's not a personal issue. If it's his job,
personal.
Doing something wrong is doing something wrong whether you've got the law on your side or not, ma'am.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE, where you can call in. You can change the subject. That's what I like about this show. We have no set subject. We're going to bring things up when there's time to do that, and we'll bring in stories that we find interesting. But if you don't like what we're talking about, just change it. Just give us something else to talk about. And
speaking of something to talk about, Bitcoin.com is where you can go to get started in the world of cryptocurrency. It is still relatively new. 10 years Bitcoin's been around. But in the scheme of money, that's a drop in the bucket. So you're still early on in this whole cryptocurrency thing. It's not too late to get started learning about it. Over at Bitcoin.com, they get the great Bitcoin Academy there. Plus, they'll teach you how to get a Bitcoin wallet, buy some Bitcoin, and find out where you can spend your Bitcoin. And you can read the latest news and engage with the community on the Bitcoin forum. Just go to Bitcoin.com.
Well, thank you, Ian.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. We tried to find any examples of Utah, and we just read a story about Utah actually removing a law from the books, which we always like to hear when
they haven't removed it yet.
They're working on it.
It needs the governor's signature.
Yep, it's passed the House, their House, and their Senate. And
doesn't always mean everything. I mean, we've seen marijuana legalization pass the state house here in New Hampshire, and every governor so far has shot it down. And this time again, they just passed it again recently.
Yeah, Sununu's vowed,
and he's vowed to. Yeah, and they didn't pass it with a veto-proof margin, so they can't override him if he vetoes it, and he will.
Well, how does that work? I mean, different states are a little bit different. I mean, you can pass it with a, quote, veto-proof margin, but could you still challenge it as a veto, challenge the veto after he's signed it? I don't know how
it is a separate
works.
vote, so I'm pretty sure if people came back, decided to change their vote in between, that would work.
Yeah, if you could convince enough people to change their votes,
right?
And I think much less than the full House actually voted on it. I think it was something like 350 out of the 400. But from what I read, even if every other House member had showed up and voted in favor of it, it still wouldn't have had the veto-proof margin. So I mean, they've got a real road to hoe.
Right. It's a pretty strong indicator.
Go
ahead.
That seems very, very strange mathematically. If there's, well, I get 50 missing. Yeah, I guess that's possible.
Yeah, I'd have to get you the exact
I was thinking
numbers.
100 missing.
Right. And every state and pretty much every organization has a different set of rules. So what may apply in New Hampshire may not apply in Utah, for example. No. So will the Utah governor stand up there and stand up for family values and say, no, I am going to veto this law, this attempt to do away with our fine rule against fornication?
Even though there's not really much evidence that it's been enforced in recent decades.
I know, but wouldn't it be great theater?
Well, it's about sending a message to the children.
Thank you,
We don't want to send the wrong message.
You're saying that
fornication is okay
outside of marriage.
Well, that's what fornication is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's two people consenting, or maybe more than two, but in Utah, two people consenting to sexual intercourse outside of marriage. That's what fornication is.
Well, thank you. I never knew that. Did you know that one, Rich? Did you know that
definition of fornication? Yeah.
I did too. I just didn't realize there was an implication that both parties or all parties were not married at the time.
Well, they can be married. It's still fornication if you're married but not to each other. I think.
Would that not fall under adultery laws?
Well, yeah, I believe that adultery is a subset of fornication. I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe like once fornication graduates and becomes adultery, it's no longer fornication. I'm not sure.
855-450 free if you would like to add your 2 cents, or that number is 855-450-3733. If you're like me and you have a hard time translating words into numbers, you can also hit us up on Discord. Discord is a very cool little app. You can find out more at discord.lrn.fm, but the long and the short of it is using your computer and your high-speed internet connection and a microphone, you can call into the show and you will sound really, really good.
Or just your smartphone, which has all that built into it.
Right. And I think we're going to try going to Discord right now. Give me just a second, and we've got a caller in there.
Yeah, you missed it. You got to click the room name to join the room.
Right. We're going to give this a second. And Cap86, are you there?
I'm here. Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. So I'm calling in from Utah, and I want to comment on this stuff that you guys are talking about a little bit.
And for those who may not recognize his voice, this is Riley. Riley does the daily digest for Free Talk Live. So if you don't want to go back in our podcasts and listen to a full 3 hours, you can pick up the best bits. But go ahead, Riley.
That's right. So you guys are wondering why Utah is known as the Beehive State. Originally, when the pioneers wanted the pioneers to be as industrious as the honeybee. So that's how it became the Beehive State.
Interesting.
I missed a little bit of what you said there. What about the pioneers and the honeybee?
So Brigham Young wanted the pioneers to be as industrious as the honeybee.
Oh, okay. That's the word I missed.
So, yeah. But what's interesting to me is this law against fornication comes from a religious understanding of fornication being a bad thing. And to me, when you enforce your religious standards by guns, which is basically what a government does, it creates a problem. And this problem is you're harming somebody. You are potentially harming consenting people. So, I mean, you can have a moral... You can be against fornication morally, but when you start using guns to enforce your morality, it becomes a problem. You rob people of their agency.
Yeah, and you yourself become immoral. I mean, arguably even more immoral than the person who's committing whatever act it is that you don't like.
I would say inarguably more immoral because you're harming somebody, they're not.
Right.
Right. So that's just the point I want to bring up, and I'm glad it's been repealed. I'm kind of excited to see what's...
It has not been repealed. It has not been repealed. It has only been voted for by the House and Senate.
House and Senate have passed it, waiting on the governor to add his signature. Riley, do you know of any instance, has there ever been like a news story you're familiar with in Utah where they've ever tried to enforce this?
Not that I'm aware of, and I've lived here all my life, and I've never heard of that actually happening. happening. So,
well, that's good. I'm glad that
Yeah,
you've never heard
yeah.
of that one, that particular one.
There are a lot of states that also have unenforced adultery statutes.
Sure.
On the books, criminal statutes.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And, you know, again, to go back to our founding of this great country, people will, you know, they'll point to, you know, the idea that government should be limited. Government should not have powers that infringe with rights of people, and it's insane that at how much they have done. 855-450 free. Riley, thank you so much for the call.
You're welcome.
And if you'd like to join in, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We've got this and a couple other topics to discuss.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Homemakers. Groceries by mail ships free. Try our amazing bacon. It stores in your pantry. No refrigeration required. Our value-added packaging provides a 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Always priced less than grocery for your everyday use. Savory and delicious. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well,
I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on account.
Now.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and we're here to talk about freedom. But if you don't want to talk about freedom, you don't even have to talk about things that we're interested in. You can talk about anything you like.
Well, I hope that we would find it interesting, because if not, you won't last long.
You won't last long. That's a good way of putting it.
But it doesn't have to be about freedom. We can talk about anything.
We do.
Just don't bore me, Mr. McGee. You wouldn't like me when I'm bored.
What is that from?
The Hulk.
Okay.
The Hulk?
Except it's don't make me angry, Mr. McGee. You wouldn't make me. The Incredible Hulk.
The original one with
Bill
Lou Ferrigno?
Mr. McGee was the reporter who kept following him around. Well, I'm not.
Was this the one with Ferrigno in it? The original Hulk?
That's
back in the day?
That's where I got it, but
Okay.
it was a comic book before
Right.
that, I assume.
I heard they made a newer one, I guess.
Oh, there have been movies and there have been all sorts of things. I'm just always, Rich, you always amaze me because for all the talk of loss of short-term memory being a side effect of marijuana use, you will dredge up references that go back 40, 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
And repeat them
word for word.
Word for word.
Yeah.
I mean, it amazes
Oh, yeah.
me.
Well, one day when we have dead air, I'll do the to be or not to be soliloquy.
Is that a threat to keep us on track and keep the show moving?
It is important. It is important. Don't ever leave me hanging on the air with nothing to say because I'll probably launch into some Shakespeare.
I will see if we can avoid that.
I generally have something to say about just about everything.
You really do, which makes you a valuable addition to the show. But we just got done talking about Utah actually deciding that they are going to make another attempt, or maybe this is their first attempt, to get a law against fornication off the books because it's unenforceable and because it's a stupid law. This is still up to the Utah governor. But meanwhile, in Russia, we have another law go ahead.
Well, the story is actually out of The Guardian, where Russia, according to, this was yesterday, Parliament there has approved a controversial law that allows courts to jail people for online, quote, disrespect of government or state officials, including President Vladimir Putin. The law, which says critics say is reminiscent of Soviet-era legislation used to target political dissidents, stipulates fines of up to 100,000 rubles, which is apparently about 1,100 pounds.
It's hard to keep track of these things, so
for, quote, indecent online posts that demonstrate a, quote, blatant disrespect for society, the country, Russia's official state symbols.
Wow.
So, you can't make fun of their government symbols.
Oh, my God.
The Constitution or the authorities.
Do you have to be in Russia to break that law? Do you know?
Presumably,
I assume to at least enforce it. Yes, they're going to send the GRU after you.
Just on general principle, bleep Vladimir Putin. Bleep him right in his bleep.
Repeat offenders can be hit with fines of up to twice the amount or 15 days behind bars. Alexander Verkhovsky, the head of the Moscow-based Sova Center, which monitors abuse of anti-extremism legislation, said people could face prosecution for online comments such as, quote, Putin is a bastard, or jokes about parliament. So this is just going to ruin any amount of fun that you can have at the expense of politicians in Russia.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Russian politicians are like irresistible. They're like the worst politicians on earth. So that would be so hard to resist.
You can't even crack a joke about Parliament now if this thing, happens. And they've approved it. So I don't see any reason why this wouldn't become law.
Unbelievable.
Why wouldn't Putin sign it,
Right.
If he even has to. Maybe Parliament can just pass things and it doesn't need a signature. I don't know how the Russian system works.
Yeah, I don't either. But this is just, it's reminiscent of our own sedition laws, the Alien and Sedition Acts in the United States. It was illegal to say anything contrary to the President of the United States. And it was okay to make fun of the Vice President, Thomas Jefferson, but you couldn't make fun of Adams. So I wonder if there's if this law is written in such a way to be targeted specific to only certain political entities. I mean, like, what if you make fun of...
Well, I mean, it's the sort of law that's always going to be selectively enforced.
Sure. Right.
Because they're using it to protect their political image. So they're going to use it consistently with that.
Right, so whatever party is in power is going to prosecute people who make fun of them, but they may not prosecute those people who make fun of the opposition party. Right.
And it's the same thing... in the United States. I mean, you can't criticize Israel.
That's true. People have gotten in hot water for that.
Texas, I thought this was unconstitutional, but apparently not. I was hearing today that all Texas businesses and individuals that do business with the Texas government in a lot of cases have to sign loyalty pledges to Israel.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, that's pretty strange.
That's creepy.
Yeah, like, I will not support a boycott of Israel. I will not.
Wow.
And it's like, really? You can, I mean, I say overthrow the U.S. government all the time.
Right.
And nobody messes with me.
Not yet. But Russia has a history.
Well, let's try it. Israel, overthrow your government. Those people are schmucks.
We're waiting. Nothing happened. Russia has a history of this. So this was a story from a couple years ago, but...
You mean of oppressing speech?
Yes. This was a Washington Post story from 2017 saying it's now illegal in Russia to share image of Putin as a gay clown.
I'm going to find this.
Yeah, I mean, but there was a meme that said "Stop homophobia," and it had Putin, kind of rainbow in the background. And things like that, but item 40,
and his face all done up with makeup.
Can we get a print of that?
Yeah,
in the studio. I want it.
Well, I think every country should have the right to make up their own leaders as gay clowns. I think that's human rights. Right.
It's like Putin as Andy Warhol as a gay clown too, and that just makes it. I want two of them matching. One Putin, one Bush, or one Trump.
Well, I'll shoot you a link for this, or we'll put it up on social media. But there's all sorts of examples of people taking their own take on this.
Hold on. Somebody actually. It looks like it was the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. They did a graphic with both of them together, with Putin and Trump. So you got Putin with the clown makeup on, Trump in his suit behind him holding, so like Putin's riding on a unicorn with a bunch of rainbow coloring in the background. Putin on a unicorn, looks like they're flying. Trump kind of holding his chest from behind, like a girl would on the back of a motorcycle.
Aww.
Holding on to her man.
That's always such a sweet picture. Sure. Oh my God. 855 450 free.
I got more to the story here.
Please continue.
I'll show it to you in a bit. So, again, you cannot express anything against Putin or any other people in Parliament. Others express concern the law has been so vaguely worded that almost any online criticism of the authorities, including satirical memes, could be construed as, quote, disrespect.
Not my dank memes.
Sergei Shvalkin, a Moscow-based lawyer, wrote on Facebook, quote, "Soon we'll be telling jokes about the authorities in whispers in the kitchen."
Unbelievable.
The law, which was authored by Andrei Klishis, a senator from Putin's ruling United Russia Party, was criticized by some MPs and government officials. Alexei Volin, the deputy communications minister, told a newspaper, quote, "One of the tasks of government bodies is to calmly hear out criticism of its work." Sergei Ivanov, an MP with the nationalist LDPR party, says, quote, "If we can stop calling a fool, he won't stop being a fool."
He's not going to stop being a fool anyway, but right. you at least got to be able to call it.
It's nice to think about, at least. 855 450 free. What do you think? Should Russians have the right to share memes of Vladimir Putin dressed up as a gay clown?
Should everyone have that right? And of course they should.
I think they should too.
Only dank memes.
We get more coming up on Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Hello. I am looking for a special soul from the GCN audience to hire to come to East Ridge, Tennessee and take care of 2 peaceful, easygoing people, which are a sweet 95-year-old woman and her 60-year-old son. Terms would be free room and board, plus the use of all of our facilities here at home, in exchange for living with us and seeing to our needs. We must have someone that fits in well. We get along with most anybody and value those who like to do the same. We live in a suburb of the scenic city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Please email Matt at peaceaboveall.net for additional information. Please include your informal resume stating your strengths and weaknesses and reasons you would make a dedicated caregiver. We would also offer to negotiate a nominal salary in addition to everything else. Again, please email matt@peaceaboveall.net. Thanks for responding.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. That is 855-450-3733. You can also hit us up on Discord at discord.lrn.fm, and you will sound just like you're in here in the studio with us, which is really cool. We've been talking about some laws. We've talked about the highly likely repeal of a law in Utah against fornication. That would be sex before marriage. And now we've been talking
consensual
about
sex before marriage.
Consensual sex. It's all very nuanced. And we've been talking about the Russian parliament passing a law saying you can't make fun of anybody involved in the Russian government. It seems to be, which then led us down the Google rabbit hole where we found another action by the Russians where they forbid you to portray Vladimir Putin as a gay clown. So you gotta love that internet.
Which you really ought to look at.
Did they specifically say in the law gay clown?
They don't like gays in Russia.
Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah.
Item 4071, a picture of a Putin-like person, quote, with eyes and lips made up, captioned with an implicit anti-gay slur, implying, quote, the supposed non-standard sexual orientation of the president of the Russian Federation, unquote. So
where is this quote coming from? I'm sorry.
I'm just kind of skimming through this Washington Post article. We'll find out more.
Non-standard sexual orientation.
Yeah, it seems like there were
So
at
like
some
a
point there
plug-in.
was some fine. Somebody got their hand smacked for putting this up, and this was the.
So it was created by a Russian, the gay Putin thing? Or just somebody posted it and got in trouble?
Somebody posted it and
I
they got in trouble.
It's hilarious. If you Google Putin gay clown, it's pretty funny.
And that's all it takes for you to come down the rabbit hole with us. But right now we're going to go to Tom. Tom listening on FTL.com.
Before Tom starts,
I don't know what's at FTL.com.
Can you tell them how to find Trump and Putin riding on the unicorn?
It's there. When you do the Google, I'm sure if you do Trump, Putin, unicorn, that's probably what's going to come up.
You've got to do
But if
Trump,
you do,
Putin, unicorn.
it's
That's
pretty good.
Brilliant.
But right now,
okay, go ahead.
We
Talk to
do
Tom.
have to go to Tom, calling in from New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live.
It's about Congresswoman Omar getting all kinds of people. She seems comments about foreign aid to Israel have gotten a lot of people howling furiously and with charges of anti-Semitism, right?
Well, right now the Democrats don't know what to do because she is a Democrat, but she's said what they have termed hate speech towards Jews by saying it's all about the Benjamins when describing how Israel has a lot of influence in the United States.
How is it that having an opinion about Israel, which is a government, has anything to do with somebody's opinion about Jewish people?
Well, that's the trap there, and that's the Israeli government uses that. They do a lot of work to equate any criticism of the Israeli government with anti-Semitism.
Right.
And that's not
let me point
the
something
same
out.
thing.
Right.
Go ahead.
Let me point something out here, is that a lot of the comments aren't about foreign aid to Israel. The comments aren't about what the Israeli government is doing to the Palestinians. The comments are about the people in the United States, the pro-Israel lobby, that supports foreign aid to Israel and continued military alliance. It's like criticizing the Pythagorean theorem by slinging mud at Pythagoras instead of addressing. She should be talking about the issues. And this resolution that you just heard about on the news, those people listening on the news, passed the House overwhelmingly, that lashes out against so-called hate speeches. It's a 7-page thing, long, but
but basically, what she said there was that a foreign government had too much power in lobbying the United States. Now, how is that different from saying the NRA has too much power in lobbying the United States government, or General Motors has too much power in lobbying the federal government?
She should be entitled to say whatever it is. What I found interesting was the Democrats were sort of stymied. Okay, she's apologized, but she's one of us. So how can we attack what we're calling her hateful speech, yet, and this is the articles that I read were saying, but Trump says hateful things every day, and the Republicans say hateful things every day.
Here's
So
the point
they
is
broadly just attack all hate speech. Go ahead.
I got a couple of points to bring up. John F. Kennedy, okay? First of all, if the Secret Service is telling people to step away from a certain area, this sidewalk, and somebody says, oh, I'll stand over there in that grassy knoll area, they might not know about the historical reference to grassy knoll area with the Kennedy assassination. And, the Secret Service agents know about, the guy in the grassy knoll area, the guy up in the Texas State Book Depository, but that person might not know anything about that. They're just going to stand over there in that grassy knoll area innocently enough. And the second point is, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, Kennedy went on the air, and he had to choose his words very carefully when he was announcing a military quarantine of Cuba and not a blockade. The reference between allegiance to Israel and support for Israel, I think is splitting hairs just as much. If you're announcing a blockade,
what's the difference
Cuba,
between allegiance to Israel
war.
and support for Israel? I mean, yeah, that does sound like splitting hairs to me. It sounds like the same thing.
A blockade, now you're saying that you're declaring war, and a quarantine is different. So, splitting hairs and choosing their words carefully is, I think they're getting too tough on her, even if some of this stuff might remind them of anti-Semitic disasters of the past, but she's not responsible for any of that, and she should be talking more about the foreign aid to Israel and what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. And let me close with a point about the beehive state, okay?
All right.
Not to change the subject on you.
No,
but
go
I
ahead.
was working at with the honeybees one time, and somebody told me that a young lady over in the accounting office wanted me to quit my job and run off with her. And I said, no, I'm happy here with my bees. I'm not going to leave my bees for some woman. Then I saw her face.
That must have
stung. I'm a believer. I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Thanks for the call, Tom.
Thanks, man. Have a great night.
Apparently, Bernie Sanders, according to WMUR, has weighed in on this Ilhan Omar statements that were supposedly anti-Semitic.
Right.
And the Vermont senator told WMUR today he doesn't consider those to be anti-Semitic. He, who is apparently an independent, although I heard he joined the Democrats recently, was fair criticism. He said her comments were fair criticism of the conservative government of Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Omar, who is a Muslim, was criticized by some Democrats and many Republicans last week when she said that pro-Israel lawmakers are, quote, under a political influence in this country that says it's okay for people to push for allegiance to a foreign country, unquote. This came after she apologized for a tweet last month that charged support for Israel in Washington is, quote, all about the Benjamins, unquote.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Today's reaction by the Democrats just struck me as, how silly can you guys get?
Well, I think there's another factor that you missed there, which is during the day today, there was a statement that came out from a number of prominent Jews basically saying that criticism of the government of the nation of Israel is not anti-Semitism. And I applaud them for coming out and saying that.
That's
because,
exactly what Sanders said.
They're the people who can say it most effectively.
Right.
He said exactly that. Quote, criticism of the Israeli government itself is not anti-Semitism, and we have to make that separation quite clear, said Sanders. He said further, quote, so anti-Semitism absolutely is unacceptable and must be fought at every level. Criticism of the Israeli government and their policies is not per se anti-Semitism. He says, as I see it, she's been critical of the Israeli government, and I think that's a fair criticism. He says, and I have been very critical of the Israeli government in terms of their treatment of Palestinians. So Sanders is right on that one.
And it wasn't who's right and who's wrong, because I agree with both of you on this. What I'm saying is the reaction from the left was, we've got to play this. How are we going to deal with this? She's one of us. How are we going to do this? What are we going to say? How can we, if we say that this kind of speech is okay, does that mean we're giving Trump a pass on every crazy thing he's ever said? It's insanity. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about yet more things, and we're going to get your opinions. We want to hear from you. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
It's been said, Any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years. From My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Gold opened the day at $1,285. Silver opened at $15.03. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,863. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the U.S. government ran an operation to screen journalists, activists, and others while investigating last year's migrant caravan from Mexico. That report came Wednesday from a San Diego TV station citing leaked documents. Mid-press news reports that dossiers that included photos from their passports or social media accounts, date of birth, and other details were kept in a database, and some freelance journalists had alerts placed on their passports and were flagged for secondary screenings at customs points. One freelance photojournalist was denied entry to Mexico for reasons that were never stated, according to KNSD-TV. The documents, in the form of dossiers and screenshots, were provided to NBC7 Investigates by a Homeland Security source on the condition of anonymity. Those listed as warranting secondary screening included 10 journalists, a U.S. attorney, and 47 people from various countries labeled as organizers, instigators, or unknown. A video of the Akili Police Department raiding the home of an innocent family, threatening a husband and wife, and ripping a baby from a mother's arms was apparently so disturbing that the entire department had to be suspended. The actions of the officers may now lead to their termination. That's according to Akili Mayor David Northcutt in a report from the Free Thought Project. The video footage consists of cell phone video as well as body camera video and paints a disturbing picture of how police act in Akili, Oklahoma. To view the video for more details, see this story at libertybeat.news and snls.news. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. This is the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Your news now continues. It's been over a year since then 18-year-old Anna Chambers accused 2 on-duty New York Police Department officers of raping her in the back of a police van on the night of September 15, 2017. As emphatically as she claims she was raped and did not consent to having sex with 2 police officers, she asserts that not only have the police continued to attempt to intimidate her, but the very justice system she looked to for help was set up to help the alleged rapists. Now, her claims have been proven correct. Both of the officers, Eddie Martins and Richard Hall, had faced up to 25 years in prison on the original rape and kidnapping charges. But the Free Thought Project reports this week they had all of those charges dropped. Because the system is set up in a way to protect predator police officers, the charges have been reduced to bribery and official misconduct. They have both since been released on their own recognizance. In his latest attack on transparency, President Donald Trump Wednesday rescinded a rule requiring U.S. intelligence officials to publicly disclose the number of civilians killed by drone strikes. Activist Post reports that Trump used an executive order to scrap the 3-year-old rule, which instructed the Director of National Intelligence to produce an annual report on all civilians killed by U.S. drone strikes outside of official war zones. Now that the rule has been canceled, critics fear that the Trump administration will be able to continue expanding the use of drone strikes overseas with even less oversight. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
And in a surprise announcement this morning, U.S. Deputy Surgeon General Greg Paulson stated that, quote, "It's fine to smoke cigarettes if you only smoke while drinking." The Deputy Surgeon General has called a press conference to discuss the shocking findings, which began just moments ago. Let's go live to that now.
Was there a particular study this report was based on?
Look, that determination was made after considering that someone who only smokes when at bars or parties ends up smoking maybe 15 cigarettes a month, while regular smokers are smoking 150 to 200 cigarettes each week. So we feel that it's just obvious that as long as you don't actually buy the cigarettes and you only smoke them while consuming the alcohol, then the risks of getting lung cancer are basically mostly negligible. Just common sense.
This announcement comes on the heels of the Surgeon General's last announcement that drinking and driving is fine if you ate a lot that day or if it's a route you take all the time sober. Moving on, the Japanese Space Agency has announced plans to put a schoolgirl on the moon by 2015.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, entering hour number 2. If you'd like to join the conversation, give us a call, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's myself, Chris.
I'm Ian.
Rich Paul.
And we've been all over the board. So I just need a new way. Give me something else that says this radio show has been all over the board. Give me an idea, Rich. Come on.
We've been talking about stuff.
We have been talking about stuff. It seems like every show we're all over the board. And we've been all over.
It's true.
We've been talking about lots
all
of
over the show.
We talked about, it's even in the title, Free Talk Live, where you can bring up any topic you like. Please make it interesting, or otherwise it may be a short phone call. But we talked about the Utah Senate and House trying to do away with a law against fornication in Utah.
That's good news.
It is good. It's a silly law that admittedly is unenforceable. We talked about the Russians, the Russian parliament approving basically a sedition law. If you say anything bad against the government, then they can charge you.
And there's more about what's going on in Russia as well.
Yeah, and then we talked briefly about Congresswoman Omar and her statement and the reactions to it about support for Israel and why they get so much, her comment was, it's all about the Benjamins.
Let me come back to that that Russian law, though, the sedition law, because we've got a significant portion of the American public that may not know it, but they support similar measures here.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I'm talking about the people who are opposed to the Citizens United decision. Okay.
And what was the Citizens United?
Citizens United was a case where a company called Citizens United was sued for violation of campaign finance law, and or a supposed violation, and the Supreme Court basically found that their spending money was speech, and that corporations did have protection under the First Amendment, and that they were free to say what they wanted to. Now, I glossed over the reason for the suit in the first place, though. Mm-hmm. I just said, alleged violation of campaign finance law. Well, what they did is they made a movie that was critical of Hillary Clinton. Yeah. So if Citizens United had gone the other way, it would be illegal in the United States to make a movie criticizing a public figure within X number of months before an election. And that's no better than the Russian law that fills us all with horror.
Was this a Dinesh D'Souza film? It seems to me I'm vaguely remembering that.
It may have been. I haven't seen the movie. I've just read the case.
Yeah, it's interesting because one thing, and we hold this little thing in my small town in New Hampshire called, it's basically the coffee party, where we talk about politics and issues, and we try, meaning we get together a diffuse group of people. We try to get conservatives together with liberals, together with libertarians, and then we talk about issues. And one thing that everybody seems to agree on is we have to get money out of politics. That's like a common theme.
It's a ridiculous idea.
How can you get money out of politics when the government hands out billions?
Right.
That's crazy talk.
I get that, but this is what, if you want to find a topic that conservatives and liberals will agree on, it is that, well, we just got to get the money out of politics.
Yeah, that's going to happen because all the politicians want that, right?
Right. They're going to do that, and they at least they recognize that that's a challenge. When are you going to get Democrats and Republicans to turn down a campaign contribution?
And the unintended consequences of this are, no matter how complex they make these laws, there's going to be enough space for a smart enough lawyer to wriggle through most of the time. So what happens is the major parties who have major law firms working for them end up being able to do pretty much whatever they want, but smaller parties like the Libertarian Party are
up S Creek without
swaddled.
A paddle. Yeah.
Well, they'll be behind the
in
curve.
These laws.
Right. Yeah. It takes long enough for them to see how everybody else is doing it before they can do it, and then they may not
and
be able to.
And of course, the Democrats and the Republicans will give each other a pass, but they're not giving the Libertarians a pass on anything.
Well, Rich, the crazy talk that you're bringing up now is that Americans are capable of making a choice between more than two political parties, and that's crazy talk. There can only be two.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Unfortunately, that is the way it is in most places in the United States. However, what we're seeing in New Hampshire now, at least this year, is the political parties are finally taking alternative voting systems a little more seriously.
Yeah.
What happened was Maine actually passed, I believe, ranked choice voting, where you rank based on, I think this is my number one choice, this is my number two choice, so on and down the list. So if it's more than two choices, you can rank them however you want. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of ranked choice. I think approval voting is easier. Personally, approval voting is where you just check that you would be okay with this person winning. Right. That way you don't have to figure out which one, because in some races you may not know necessarily which one you like better than another.
In some elections, most races.
Well, and the other problem with ranked choice voting is they do it by rounds, and they do it in such a way that they compare all the first place votes And if there's no clear winner, they discard all of the first place votes and then compare all the second place votes. Well, that's really not that algorithm doesn't correspond to really best satisfying anybody's preferences.
I still think it's better than
voting,
the current system.
I think is much better. Yeah. I don't know if ranked choice is better or worse than the current system.
I'd say it's better.
I would say it's pretty bad.
I'd say ranked choice is better than the current, winner takes all kind of thing, or whatever you call the plurality system that we have, because at the very least it gives people the opportunity to rank their candidates, and that helps overcome the third-party wasted vote syndrome that libertarians have been struggling with for decades, where if you're a libertarian and you're talking to Republican and Democrat friends, and your Republican and Democrat friend or whoever, says to you, yeah, I really like what the libertarian says, but they can't win, so I need to vote against the candidate that I don't like the most, and so they go and they vote for one of the two parties because they're afraid of so-called wasting their vote on the third party. And so the Greens and the Libertarians are constantly suffering from this. So any kind of system, whether it be approval voting or ranked choice, gives people the opportunity to not feel bad, even though it's not it. Look, if you agree with that candidate, you ought to vote for him, rather than this this idea of being afraid of what might happen. But you can't get over it. People can't get over it. So the voting system has to change.
But
the other thing is that things could really be better reflect the population if we were using a proportional representation system,
like a parliamentary system.
Yeah. I don't know if it would be entirely parliamentary, because I'm not advocating a prime minister or
no, but that's what they use
adding
over
anything
there
like
in
that.
most parliament.
But yes, where you vote for the party, and if there's 100 votes, then a party that gets 12 of those votes fills 12% of the seats,
and then the party selects who they want to fill the seat.
Exactly. So they probably have an ordered list of people who will get seats if they win.
The problem with
seats.
that system is it concentrates too much power in the hands of the parties. So now you can have anybody who wants to. In New Hampshire, if you're a Republican or Democrat, you can put $2 in and you can run for state rep. And there's nothing the parties can say about that. I mean, they can run somebody against you in the primary, but that's all they can do about it. Here, they would have total control.
I think you could simulate that by making it ultra easy to create a political party.
I see what you're saying.
That would help, but somehow those Europeans...
And remember, you just need 1/4% to get a seat in the New Hampshire legislature.
Because there's 400
members.
Right. Somehow the European countries do it with dozens of political parties. We'll be right back.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.Global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.Global. Drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.Global. That's AnyPay.Global.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can hit us up on Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That will require you to load an app on your phone or on your laptop, but you'll sound like you're right here in the studio with us. Of course, we do a lot of other things. We're active on social media or anti-social media, as the case may be. We tend to shy away from some, but we do embrace others like Mastodon and things like that, Telegram. Yeah, you can also, if you're interested in supporting the show, there's another way to do that, and that's through our AMP program. That stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. You can find out more about that at amp.freetalklive.com. And
since you brought it up, thanks to Loring, who is a Free Talk Live Platinum amplifier, meaning he gives $25 a month to the AMP program, which all we ask for is $5. So thanks so much for the extra. And of course, you get some cool perks and some benefits from being an amplifier. So go learn more at amp.freetalklive.com. Now, the amplifiers help get us new radio stations.
That they do.
They help us market Free Talk Live to stations, and we've got over 195 radio stations now.
Scratching on 200. I want that 200.
Are going to be darn close to 200 here after I actually add this next station I'm going to tell you about, because I haven't actually taken the time to add them to the list, so you're only hearing about it here first. I haven't even put it up on the website yet. But actually, welcome back to a former affiliate. It's always nice when stations that had us in the past come back to rejoin Free Talk Live, and sometimes they leave for different reasons.
Sure,
we're one of the easiest shows to get rid of because we've got the easiest agreement in the business as far as when a station signs on to take Free Talk Live.
Right.
There are a lot of shows out there they could take, and most of them have a very oppressive kind of contract where, like for Glenn Beck, for instance, and Rush Limbaugh,
Right.
You have to, if you're a program director of a radio station and you want to sign up for those shows, presuming they're available in your market, Rush is probably already locked up.
Right.
But if you want to take Glenn Beck, you've got to sign an agreement that then says you will play Glenn Beck's Best Of show on the weekend. So if you wanted to do all live weekends, sorry, you can't do that. Glenn Beck wants you to play a Best Of his show. If you're not willing to play it, you're not going to get the deal, basically. Wow. In some cases, like in Rush Limbaugh, you actually have to pay Rush. So stations actually pay for Limbaugh. That unlike most shows where when we're on, we don't get paid by our stations. We get the benefit of being on their air, and then we can run our advertising on their air, and that's kind of how the compensation works. It's called what's called a barter deal in the business, meaning the local station gets to run their own advertisements during our show. They don't have to pay us. And so that therefore they don't have to pay their own hosts, right? Like if they had a local guy in, they'd have to pay him. So they get the airtime covered with hopefully a good show, and they don't actually have to pay for it.
Right.
And the way they pay is by giving up some airtime for our ads to run. But with Rush Limbaugh, they're paying yearly.
You're paying.
And they pay based on the market size as well. So if you've got a station in New York City, you're going to probably be paying, I don't know, $1 million or something like that. It's not going to be cheap.
Not cheap.
Smaller markets, not so bad. So welcome back to former affiliate KFPW, also known as The Marshal, which is kind of an interesting name for a show that has been critical of the police in the past. In fact, that might have been one of the reasons we were taken off the station in the first place. But the owner I think he's had a change of heart. He's come back around. Maybe the cops roughed him up. I don't know what happened.
Who knows?
I haven't asked him yet. If you're out there, Bill, and you want to call in, you're welcome to. But welcome back to Free Talk Live. And they're on actually both AM and FM, which is awesome because when we were on originally on this station, it was just an AM station.
Nice.
But a lot of AMs have been getting what they call FM translators, and that allows these sort of old guard AM stations that the audience is aging. They're getting up there in years. Young people, sorry, they just don't tune to the AM band. If they're listening to the radio, they stick with FM. So getting an AM station on FM like they're doing over in Fort Smith, Arkansas at KFPW is a good move. And when you get on FM, you want to get a younger show in, right?
Right.
We're that show.
We are that. Myself excluded because I'm 118 years old. So if you listen to the other hosts on the show, they will describe me as old man radio.
KFPW is the voice of Fort Smith since 1930. That's a long run.
Yeah, it's a good year. I remember it well.
No, you don't.
I know that. I'm just kidding. But we are going to go to the phones and take some of your calls. This is Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, this year we actually have a bill. We want to start paying our legislators.
What?
Can you believe it?
What do they need
already
paid
pay
for?
them? Now, they don't pay them the whole lot in New Mexico. New Mexico is actually, I think, close to New Hampshire as far as its very, very low pay for state legislator there. But they do pay them. I think it's a per diem, right?
How much do they get paid?
Yeah, but it's actually all they get is per diem. That's not a pay. We're in fact, the last and only state. I'm calling this. It's humiliating. We're the very last state. We don't pay them anything.
We wear that as a badge of pride here. Here in New Hampshire,
wait a minute. You guys do pay them something.
We
other
do.
than
They
per diem.
our state senators and state representatives get paid $100 per year.
That's correct.
In New Hampshire.
Plus, they get a
and they're worth at least a quarter of that.
They also get some mileage, right? They get some of that.
They get a mileage fee, gas fee, which they have their ways of taking advantage of that too.
Oh, I have no doubt.
By the way, they'll do carpooling basically. So essentially, they're like the handful of state reps that are all Democrats here in Keene. They'll carpool up to the state house, and then they'll all claim the mileage fee, even though only one of them was driving.
That sounds fraudulent. Is that legal?
It does sound fraudulent.
I don't know. I just heard that that's what they do.
Well, I don't
really?
doubt that's
it
what they do.
It would be interesting to see if that's legal.
Yeah, I don't know.
All
Good
right.
question.
So do you know how much they make, or do they make anything?
I've got it here. They make $164 per day, which is a lot of damn money. So I mean, you're acting like that's not a lot of money. Sarah, but that's more money than the average person makes at a $10 an hour job. That's $20 an hour, basically.
So they get zero money, zero salary.
Right. But a per diem fee.
Okay, so
wow.
I don't think look at. They just passed a law to raise the minimum wage for our state, for all the people that work in our state. So then, why are they reworking them for free? You know what I'm saying? Because
because they destroyed a whole bunch of jobs by raising the minimum wage. That's why they should work for free, because what they're doing is positively harmful to the people of their state. They should be paying the state to knuckle under to these demands of theirs that they not create jobs that aren't good enough by government standards.
Some jobs just need to be illegal. If the job is worth less than $15 an hour or whatever, that job needs to be illegal. That's what minimum wage laws do. Sarah, thank you for the call. A pleasure as always. She's a frequent caller.
She brings out the beast in me.
Does she?
She does.
Under your skin?
She does.
I don't know why that is. I always find Sarah calls somewhat refreshing for about 5 seconds. 855-450-FREE. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. Free Talk Live.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We're in our second hour, and we've been talking about all kinds of stuff. We've been taking your phone calls. These are all things that we like to do. By we, I mean myself, Chris.
And Ian.
And Rich Paul.
So we've been, God, I don't even know where to begin today. We've been discussing laws, not only in the U.S., but also in Russia.
Yeah, we got more of that coming up, too.
Even more? Mm-hmm. There's more laws.
More things that you shouldn't do.
More laws that we could talk about. More laws
ideas.
that we could poke fun at all evening long. And we found out that legislators...
Thankfully, it's still legal for us to do that here.
Still.
We can still poke fun at the government.
Still. We hope we'll be able to continue to poke fun at the government because at least for myself, that's one of my favorite things to do.
It is one of the most satisfying things to do. I have to totally agree with you. And one of the reasons why is because they hate it. They absolutely hate it when you make fun of them.
They do.
And that's why they're making it illegal in Russia. They can't make it illegal here very easily because there is that pesky constitution that does, to some extent, still have some kind of relevance, but even though it doesn't seem like much.
Well, they made it illegal here within, the first decade of the existence of that constitution with the Alien and Sedition Act. So there is no can't.
Right.
You know.
Right now, they are not doing it that much. But how many times have I heard Trump supporters say, it ought to be illegal, some of the things that they say about our president, and not to pick on Trump supporters, because I'll just go back a couple years and I'll say Democrats saying it ought to be illegal. Mm-hmm. Them talking about President Obama that way.
Yeah.
So it's both sides, and they keep right up. They keep at it every single time. 855-450-FREE if you would like to take part. But right now we are going to go to the phones, and we have Joey from Pennsylvania. He's listening on Twitch. Joey, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey there, how's it going?
Hey, Joey.
I recently saw the new report about Paul Manafort, how he's sentenced to, I believe, 47 months.
Now, who is this?
Paul Manafort.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I mean, the name sounds familiar. Some politician.
Was a Trump advisor who got convicted of something. He's about to be sentenced, I think.
Yeah.
What was he convicted of?
I believe it was, I know something with, he was taking money or something like that. I forget the exact crimes. I just have some questions about it. And I actually do know someone who testified against him in the court. I know them personally. So, and they were telling me a little bit about this. They said when they did some business with him, they said that he was an absolute menace, and there was some stuff that I probably shouldn't say on air. So
when in doubt, leave it out.
Then don't,
because we can't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they said that he was making racist comments and stuff.
That's been an allegation against many people associated with Trump, mostly from the Democrats, who feel that if you support Trump, you are racist. That's just a de facto position they hold.
Which means you're also sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, and transphobic, I'm pretty sure. That's all a package deal, I think.
I suspect you're missing many phobics. I'm sure there's
that
other things.
In that case, then I'm
Yeah, he was sentenced to 47 months. I know there was bank fraud, there was tax fraud, and these are things that are sort of loosely associated with the Trump campaign, but not completely. At one point, he was the head campaign guy for Trump.
Oh, really?
Whatever you call that. But what else do you have for us, Joey?
Oh, well, are you guys, I believe what they call it here. I've only been here for a few months from England. Libtards? Is that how they say?
Libtards? What is a libtard?
I believe it's the, kind of like how you guys are talking right now, saying that Donald Trump is racist and all of these other...
Oh, I don't think we were saying that.
No,
I think
no.
you were saying that some people say that. I don't know if Donald Trump is racist. I don't know him.
Right.
I've never actually. I don't think he's. If he had said racist things, wouldn't they just be trumpeting that all over, so to speak, all over the place?
He's.
I totally agree.
Yeah, he says things that are uncouth. He says things that are unpopular.
He says things that are funny too.
He does.
Very amusing.
And a lot of people see his positions on immigration as completely racist. Anybody with brown skin. But
it's easy to jump to that conclusion, and I say that as somebody who's in favor of open borders, and I think a lot of the people who are advocating for government crackdowns against immigration, they couch it as though, oh no, I support legal immigration.
Right.
No, well, I don't know if I buy it from a lot of those people, but who knows what Trump's motivations are? I'm not going to ascribe anything to him. On that.
Yeah, it's not like he ever said someone's a fucking nigger.
Okay, you can't say that on the radio. Hit that dumb button and swing right around and get that other one there too, if you would, please. There you go. Thank you.
Did I? That was my first dump.
Yeah, I think it was, and you did pretty well.
Did I hit everything in the correct order?
I think you nailed him. You nailed him.
I hit that one. I hit that one. I hit that one.
We got that limey bastard right off the air.
Folks, when you decide you're going to curse on the air,
hate speech?
No, only in Canada.
Okay.
I will give him credit. He did lead us on for at least a few minutes with some Paul Manafort stuff before he dropped his vileness on us. For me, Rich, that was the first time I ever actually had to nail somebody and get him off the air. So
your first kill.
It was my first kill.
Wow.
I'm going to go outside and I'm going to paint a big red dump button on the side of my Jeep. And the next time I get one, I'm going to paint a second one. It's just going to be like a World War II aircraft.
Okay.
My
well,
aces.
I'll show you how we can download the MP3 of this so you can drink the blood of your first kill.
Very nice. 855-450 free. If you would like to call in and talk about whatever you like.
Who, me?
Well, no, Rich, you can't. You're already here.
I was going to say, I could call in.
It would cost feedback, I'm pretty sure. But we'd love to
sound
hear.
as good unless you were on Discord.
Exactly. Hit us up on discord.lrn.fm.
Speaking of Discord, I think. Oh wait, no, he's not necessarily there yet, is he? We're not sure.
We don't know. Yeah, he
said something. He said something back to you in the private messages. There's a little.
I'll check that
little
out
indicator
too.
there.
Well, good. Hopefully, we
can check him later.
We'll check in with him later. But Ian, you had something else. We were talking about laws, and we were talking about sedition laws. And that prompted you to come up with another idea.
We weren't talking about sedition laws. You mentioned the word sedition, but the Russian prohibition isn't just about sedition. I mean, certainly that's illegal in Russia. I suspect that's already illegal.
So consider me generalizing when I refer to laws that prohibit you from saying certain things against the state.
So sedition is specifically inciting people to rebel against the authority of the state or a monarch, whereas what they're doing in Russia now is anything that is considered disrespect, which is
a lower standard.
That's just, I don't like you. That's just Putin's ugly. That's just, the Putin clown, gay clown thing.
Right.
Anything that makes fun of the state, anything that makes fun of government officials, anything that doesn't take them ultra serious is illegal in Russia, presuming that, again, we don't know their system, presuming Parliament there can just go ahead and make a thing illegal without Putin's signature. And why wouldn't Putin sign something that would prevent people from criticizing him?
Absolutely.
Reminds me of an old Mae West movie where she's in court, she's standing before the judge, and she says something smart-ass, and the judge says, "Madam, are you attempting to display contempt for this court?" And she says, "No, Your Honor. I'm attempting to conceal it.
Nice.
Yeah, there's another good line in the Transformers movie, the animated one from the 1980s, where they're on trial in this court with quotes around it, where they just put everybody to death no matter what they do. And one of the court beasts asks them, do you have something about I'm going to hold you in contempt for this court? And Hot Rod quips back, I have nothing but contempt for this court.
Nice.
And then they feed them to the Sharkticons.
Oh, wow.
So there's more about what's happening in Russia with other awful legislation coming up here on Free Talk Live. And you can join us at 855-450 free.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Has your body ever gone low blood sugar, feeling weak, shaky, knowing you better eat something fast? We all know high blood sugar can lead to many metabolic problems. At GCNteam.com, we have a healthy blood sugar pack, focusing on the structure and function of stable blood sugar. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Nothing feels worse than unstable blood sugar. Call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Live tonight, like we're live every night, 855-450-FREE. If you would like to join the conversation, that's 855-450-3733 is our toll-free number, or you can hit us up on Discord. You can find us at discord.lrn.fm, and you will sound almost like you are in the studio with us.
But you got to join the on-air call-in line rooms. If you just go to discord.lrn.fm, it'll drop you in the on-air discussion room where you can chat with other listeners of the show. But if you want to call in, you do have to join one of the top 4 rooms on our list of rooms.
Yeah, and it's not just call-in rooms. There's different subjects you can talk about, almost anything.
Yeah, in the chat rooms, there's a bunch of different chat rooms.
Yep,
and they're
voice
there
chat.
24/7.
Yeah, voice chat. You can talk about anything you like. But if you're calling into the show, please keep it clean because we are on regular radio stations.
And we have a dump machine that can make sure that whatever it is you say that's dirty never makes it to the radio. You might get the 7 people watching on Twitch who will hear it, but those are the only people who heard that curse word earlier.
Yeah, and if that's all you really have to look forward to, then you have a sad, sad life.
It's true.
Stefan, you're on Free Talk Live. Can you hear me?
Yes. Congratulations on your first stump, by the way.
Wasn't that exciting?
His very
I
first
can
kill.
already see the headline. Old man nails limey British boy.
Did you get a little adrenaline pump from that, Chris?
Oh, it's big time.
Yeah.
It was just, it was, you go through the training, but then you're in the middle of it. It's like combat.
Right.
And it actually happens. And it was all muscle memory, guys. I'm probably going to write a book or something like that about this experience.
Yeah, well, if you need to talk to someone, you may not even feel it for like 24 hours.
I'm probably not processing it yet.
You could be in shock.
I could be.
Be ready to call somebody if you need counseling.
Yeah, we'll have counselors available on staff.
Anyway, I was going to talk about voting, just in general.
Okay.
So I was hearing you guys discuss a parliamentary system, for example, and I'd like to see the entire system abolished, but I had an idea that would probably be a little more representative in the U.S.
Okay.
I think the Speaker of the House should be president. I genuinely believe that.
He's only a couple steps away anyway, if the bullets were starting to fly.
So we could just create a tradition of shooting the president and the vice president after each election, and then the Speaker of the House is in. Well, then the Speaker of the House stops being the Speaker of the House, though.
Right.
You want her to hold
create
both
an
jobs.
infinite loop of people shooting each other.
So what's the point of the proposal?
Right.
So basically, whichever party gains control of the House of Representatives, I would advocate they become the president, and the the Senate Majority Leader, I think, should become vice president.
But doesn't that basically make it harder to have gridlock? I mean, because right now, if you've got a president who's different from the majority of the House, then presumably that president can veto what a lot of the things are that are passed out of the House. And if it's the system you're talking about, then it's just free reign for whoever gets control of the House. There's no stopping whatever they pass.
Or you could have what we have right now.
That depends on party discipline, though, because that's more or less what the function of the Prime Minister of England, for example, or Canada, I believe, is that he's the chief executive, but he's also elected by the Parliament out of their members. Is that not?
I can't speak to this stuff. What I do know is that our system of government was set up, and this is why it drives me nuts when people start bashing like the Electoral College. Saying, well, it doesn't always represent the will of the people, and this should all just be a democracy. The whole point of having an electoral college, for example, was to make sure that we couldn't vote democratically. It was a feature because democracies are bad. The idea was if you force it into a republic, then you'll make things hard, and you will make it very difficult to make major changes. Major changes should be very difficult to do. Otherwise, can you imagine the laws that would have passed on 9/12?
Mm-hmm. Well, they did pass some really bad stuff.
It took them a little while.
Patriot Act. It didn't take them that long.
They had it pre-written.
Man.
They had that one pre-written, if I recall correctly.
They
took it off the shelf.
But how much worse could it have been? I mean, if you would have thought, if you would have done a poll and said how many people believe that the religion of Islam should be considered an enemy of the state, which arguably it was at that point, but we should just turn everything loose on Islam, kill anybody of Muslim.
It was a terrible idea.
Yeah. But that's the kind of stuff that happens in the heat of the moment when you have things to slow it down. Things like gridlock and things like electoral college, it makes it much more difficult to make drastic moves.
Here in New Hampshire, Stefan, the Democrats are in control over, I think the House of Representatives.
And the Senate.
And the Senate? Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
They do have both?
I think they do.
If not, they're darn close in the Senate. But either way, they've got legislative control or close to it. And the governor, who's a Republican, is the only thing standing in the way of some pretty bad gun legislation. I mean, these Democrats have put forward some very restrictive gun legislation here this year, and presumably the Republican governor will veto that stuff. So I think what you're proposing would get rid of a lot of gridlock.
I would argue just get rid of the state entirely.
Well, yeah. Let's do that tomorrow.
It's a good fallback. I like it.
But for now, you want gridlock so that way we can basically have a government that does nothing and is ineffective.
Yes.
Yes. It's the best system.
Anywho, what I was originally going to call in about, I just felt like adding that, was I think primary elections should be abolished.
Just throw everybody in the general and give a wide range of choices, that kind of thing?
I think that parties' delegation should be in charge of choosing who their nominee is.
I disagree with that. Because that's just centralizing. That goes back to what you were saying, Rich, was that if you do that, then you're centralizing more power in the parties. And I don't know about you, Stefan, but these political parties are an absolute mess. I mean, you've been involved with the Libertarian Party where you wanted to run for something, I think, in Ohio there, and they basically shut you out.
You were a candidate for
I criticized Gary Johnson, and they tossed me off the ballot when I was running for state rep.
Yeah, you will have that type of thing.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. If you coupled, let parties pick whoever they want, they can be as crazy with that power as they want, but then you open up elections to any political party, then I think it becomes more European.
That's what Rich was saying, was that if you had an unlimited number of
lower
parties.
the barriers to entry.
But that's the problem right now is we have such huge barriers to entry for any other party.
The Republicans and Democrats won't even lower the barrier to allow a third party in, let alone dozens of them.
I've explained this before. Americans can't think beyond two choices. It's Coke or Pepsi.
I wish it were. I wish something else were true, but it seems like you're right about that. I mean, as wonderful of libertarian candidates as there might be, many of them just don't get voted for. I mean, people aren't willing to break away from their party, even if they agree with the libertarian, they're not willing to do it.
And Stefan, how many times have you heard that? I do like a lot of what the libertarians say, but I've always been a Democrat. I've always been a Republican.
Heard that, unfortunately, a lot of the time it was when referring to candidates that weren't actually libertarian, but I have heard that a lot, and ranked choice voting would probably offset some of that.
Right.
If you didn't have parties at all, that might actually make it easier, but...
Yeah, there's a lot
of other pie in the sky proposals can we make?
And anybody qualify for the ballot, just don't have party monikers, and I bet you the majority of people would stay home every time.
The majority of people always stay home every time. I mean, with few exceptions.
Yeah, that's a good point. And when elections get won, they are voted into office by a minority of the citizens. It never fails. I mean, you can go presidential elections. Pick your election. It's a
presidential elections usually have a majority of the voting population turnout, though.
Do they? I think he just played his own laugh track. Was that you? That was nice.
That was an accident. Yeah. That was my numpad. I apologize.
I don't know. I think there might have been somewhere that's true, but I don't know if it's true across the board.
The last one, 2012, 2008, had a huge turnout. I think the last one to have under 50% was 1996.
Under 50% of the population or under 50% of registered voters?
This is of registered voters.
Okay, well, now we're not talking about a majority then.
Yeah, and what my point is if you're looking at 320 million people in this country, And everybody over the age of 18 or whatever, if there's a general cutoff where we can say you could vote if you wanted to, it would be interesting to see what those numbers are. Stefan, thank you so much for the call. And we'll be back. We've got more to talk about, and we hope you do too. Call us back, and we'll be back. Free Talk Live.
Pain in my neck, back, and shoulders has really gotten worse.
Relief for body pain is here with Sunny Bay heating pads.
Well, the last thing I want is to take another pill, so what's so good about Sunny Bay heating pads?
Sunny Bay heating pads, made by Biomed DB Design right here in the USA, come in all sizes. Our extra large microwavable heating pad for back pain is designed to be large enough to cover your entire back. It's also perfect to wrap around your legs, knees, or shoulder and neck.
But I need to know they're good quality.
Of course, Sunny Bay heating pads and pillows are often an Amazon choice, and it's easy and most affordable when you purchase your Sunny Bay heating pads right from our website, sunshinepillows.com, or call us 253-678-1361.
Hey, a Sunny Bay heating pad
would make a great gift, right?
Yes, and they start at just $19.99 and free shipping is available. So call 253-678-1361 or shop for your Sunny Bay heating pad at sunshinepillows.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Gold opened the day at $1,285. Silver opened at $15.03. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,863. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, the U.S. government ran an operation to screen journalists, activists, and others while investigating last year's migrant caravan from Mexico. That report came Wednesday from a San Diego TV station citing leaked documents. Midpress News reports that dossiers that included photos from their passports or social media accounts, date of birth, and other details were kept in a database, and some freelance journalists had alerts placed on their passports and were flagged for secondary screenings at customs points. One freelance photojournalist was denied entry to Mexico for reasons that were never stated, according to KNSD-TV. The documents, in the form of dossiers and screenshots, were provided to NBC7 Investigates by a Homeland Security source on the condition of anonymity. Those listed as warranting secondary screening included 10 journalists, a U.S. attorney, and 47 people from various countries labeled as organizers, instigators, or unknown. A video of the Akili Police Department raiding the home of an innocent family, threatening a husband and wife, and ripping a baby from a mother's arms was apparently so disturbing that the entire department had to be suspended. The actions of the officers may now lead to their termination. That's according to Akili Mayor David Northcutt in a report from the Free Thought Project. The video footage consists of cell phone video as well as body camera video and paints a disturbing picture of how police act in Keeley, Oklahoma. To view the video, for more details, see this story at libertybeat.news and snls.news. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. This is the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Your news now continues. It's been over a year since then 18-year-old Anna Chambers accused two on-duty New York Police Department officers of raping her in the back of a police van on the night of September 15th, 2017. As emphatically as she claims she was raped and did not consent to having sex with two police officers, she asserts that not only have the police continued to attempt to intimidate her, but the very justice system she looked to for help was set up to help the alleged rapists. Now, her claims have been proven correct. Both of the officers, Eddie Martins and Richard Hall, had faced up to 25 years in prison on the original rape and kidnapping charges. But the Free Thought Project reports this week they had all of those charges dropped. Because the system is set up in a way to protect predator police officers, the charges have been reduced to bribery and official misconduct. They have both since been released on their own recognizance. In his latest attack on transparency, President Donald Trump Wednesday rescinded a rule requiring U.S. intelligence officials to publicly disclose the number of civilians killed by drone strikes. Activist Post reports that Trump used an executive order to scrap the 3-year-old rule, which instructed the Director of National Intelligence to produce an annual report on all civilians killed by U.S. drone strikes outside of official war zones. Now that the rule has been canceled, critics fear that the Trump administration will be able to continue expanding the use of drone strikes overseas with even less oversight. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat for Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The Relationship Pro talks to your girlfriend so you don't have to.
We're joined today in our demo center by Eric and Pam, a couple that's been teetering on the edge of divorce for years.
So, Pam, you guys have been using the controller all morning. I understand it's a very good listener.
It's like talking to a fully developed person.
It's got to be a major relief not needing your husband to be your partner or a friend.
Oh, yeah.
So, Eric, it must be a tremendous relief to know that there's someone else on the other end of Pam's eye rolls.
Oh, now I can focus on my game instead of worrying about all that stuff she said there.
Will the Relationship Pro keep you two together?
I think it'll drag this thing out for another couple months.
Amazing! Now, to thank you two for coming on the show, we bought you two the new deluxe Relationship Pro Extreme.
This expanded model has 2 new modes. Fantasy mode, which allows you to select the age and nationality of the controller's voice.
Oh, I choose a voice like my dad's.
Okay. And a hyper-realistic mode that starts fights and then grovels pathetically when it's afraid you might get rid of it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. We're in hour number 3. 3 hours of liberty-oriented radio every night of the week, 365 days a year.
A 3-hour tour.
It is 3 hours. We're on 7 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern every night. So if you like what you hear, please tune in and please give us a call. Once again, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
You know, Chris, before we get to our callers who are waiting, I do have 2 more radio stations to welcome. So we did 2 earlier.
2 more?
2 more now. welcome to, and it's actually another former affiliate that has come back.
I love it.
And another former affiliate that's come back now with an FM translator. So welcome back to WWNS, also known as Fox News 107.7 there in Statesboro, Georgia.
I've been there.
I've been there too.
Yeah, and so they're 1240 on the AM band and also 107.7. So welcome aboard to our listeners there. They're pulling the show down every single night, airing us a few hours after we air live. So they're doing like, I think, 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern time. So welcome aboard. If you're listening to the show in what they call in the business delay broadcast, so if you're not listening to us live, remember, you can still participate. You just have to remember to call when we're live. So don't wait till we come on the air in, whatever market you're listening in. Just know,
Statesboro, for example.
Yeah, just know that we're on 7 to 10 at night Eastern time. Just do whatever calculations you need to for wherever you live, and then call us up and bring up whatever you want, and then you can hear yourself later on the radio.
And they can always get it over the internet, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, we're always at freetalklive.com anytime you want us. But if you can listen to us on the radio, it's a cool thing to be able to listen on the radio.
It's true.
Well, very good.
So, yeah.
You said two
Welcome
stations, or was that the two you were referring to, AM and FM station?
Right. So,
them?
yeah, technically 4 new stations that I've welcomed tonight.
That is so cool. We love to hear the ideas of liberty reaching more ears, because face it, you can find a talk radio show that's going to be conservative. That's easy to do.
They usually surround our show, most of these stations.
And it's pretty tough to find even that many successful, more liberal, more progressive stations. There's
barely
a few.
exist. There's literally no more than a dozen of them.
Yeah,
across the United States.
But
we're on half of them.
Right. But we like to play to both sides. We like to hear from people of differing opinions. And maybe you'll convince me. Maybe I'll convince you. Not likely that you're going to change my minds about liberty, because I'm pretty dead set. But we are going to go to the phones.
And besides, we'd have to fire you.
Would you? Really? No. We've had a couple more. Well, I know of at least one very conservative.
There have been statist hosts.
Yeah, but they haven't been in the first seat before. There's never been a statist host sitting in the chair that he's sitting in. So yeah, you'd be demoted back down to
now
the third seat.
You're giving me something
That's so
to
you don't get statism on your buttocks.
We got a bidet for that here.
Yes, we do. And this place has a bidet, which I have not yet used. But in the meantime, Jasper, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the
Jasper,
radio.
You're on the radio.
Oh my God, I'm on the radio.
Yeah, don't say things you can't say on the radio, or you're not going to be on the radio. So,
I'm sorry.
What were you calling about?
I wanted to talk. Am I allowed to talk about personal stuff, or am I only allowed to?
You can absolutely talk about personal stuff as long as you don't say certain words that the FCC doesn't allow you to say.
The magic words.
Know what we mean?
Vern,
don't cuss. But go ahead.
Of course, I promise you.
Uh-huh.
So basically, I was so I was born in New York, and I've lived here my whole life. And like my mom and dad decided that we should move, and we've been going on and off about moving and not moving, until like recently, where my parents said we're going to be moving to Texas. So it's pretty big. It's pretty far away.
So you're still in New York right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you don't mind me asking, are you like in the city, or are you upstate, or?
No, I live in a small town. It's called Peekskill. You probably never heard of it.
That's okay. All right.
Okay. So what? So are you concerned about the move? I mean, what is it that why are you bringing this up to us on the radio?
Well, I just wanted someone to talk to, because my parents say it's like done deal. Like, we're definitely moving.
And how old are you?
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
I don't know if it's like I'm not allowed to be on here unless I'm a 30, but I'm only 13.
Yeah, no, there's no age. There's no age restriction.
limit.
As long as you can call in and speak English to us, you can get on the air.
So,
of course.
So, it's a big. Does it seem like a big cultural shock, like coming from like small town in New York to
yeah, where
Texas?
in Texas? Is it going to be another town? Or are you going to like Dallas, or do they know where?
I think it's Houston.
Okay.
That's a
that's
big
where I
town.
wanna be going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Houston's
very
one of the
big,
top
yeah.
10 cities in the United States, if I recall correctly. I think it was like number
Oh,
7.
I never heard that.
It's big. There's a lot of people that live in Houston for sure. So, I mean, are you concerned that you're gonna, not have any friends? I mean, what is it that is bothering you about it?
That's the main thing. And I have I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I have a girlfriend up here, so.
Oh, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
You might as well count that one as being over because, unfortunately, long-distance relationships just don't work out. They just don't work for people.
They do in movies. That's about
I've had
it.
one before, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd say. Here's what I'd say on this. I mean, having not actually had to deal with this as a child, I don't know if either of you guys did, but my parents basically raised me in Florida, and that's where I stayed for 26 years until I moved to New Hampshire. But the way I would approach it is, look, it's out of your hands. Your parents are going to move where they're going to move. Maybe they, took a little bit of input from you, but ultimately they're going to make this decision. The good news is friends are sort of something that come in and out of your life over time. Right now, the things that happen to you seem very, very important because that's all that you've known. All you've known is being in this town in New York, and you don't know what things are going to be like. There's sort of that fear of the unknown that can come into this. But ultimately, just embrace the change because that's really all you can do in life is not fight against change. It's going to happen. Yeah. And this is one of those things that you can't fight against. And there's no point in being upset by it or being saddened by it. It may be a bummer that you don't get to hang out with those friends anymore. But the good news is, unless you're a total antisocial, you'll probably make, new friends in the place where you end up. And it'll be a lot warmer. That much is for sure.
That's true.
Hey, thanks for the call tonight, man. Definitely appreciate it.
No
And thanks for not putting
Thank you. Thank everybody for their words.
Thanks for not putting our license in jeopardy there. We do appreciate that. Because whenever somebody young calls in, it's like
it's always a concern.
Our defenses go up immediately.
Quick, somebody panic.
I mean, did you guys ever have to deal with that as kids? Was the parents who moved you around the country?
No.
Neither of you?
Here's a good one. Well, I actually lived in 2 houses, I was going to say, but my father moved the house I was born into 10 miles.
He moved the house itself?
Yeah, moved the house itself.
It was like a trailer?
No, well, it was a modular home, so it was built into 2 halves.
It's a nicer word for trailer.
Thank you, Ian, for belittling. It was a very nice modular
was it a nice
home.
Park?
It was. Did you have
a truck with no wheels in the front yard?
My father was convinced that modular homes were the wave of the future.
They're great. Oh, no, seriously. I think modular homes are great.
But, okay, people bought modular homes and they were affordable and all this good stuff, but nobody took them apart. You didn't do that because you decided you were going to move 10 miles into the town with a population of 100. But my father figured out,
he did it.
We're gonna do this. This was one of the selling features.
How much did it cost?
Thing. I have no idea, but he literally got some crew up there to, cut it right down the middle, down the middle.
Wow.
Carry both halves in each piece, put them back together, and then he built a small addition onto this. So, it went from 1,000 square feet to 1,500 square feet. It was a really weird thing for him to do, but
at 10 miles, you didn't have to make any new friends or anything like that.
No,
right?
God no. 855-450 free. Have you ever lived in a house that got split apart and moved? If so, I want to hear from you.
And what advice do you have for our caller if you've been through that before?
Right. That's the big question.
855-450 free. It's Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
The call just came in over the police radio. Yeah, right here. It's just me, my producer, Glenn, and a camera. Buckle up. We don't know where in the mall the shots were fired. We don't know what's going on. It looks like a security guard. I'm going to see what he knows. Turns out he wasn't a security guard. He was just a guy in a blue suit. We still have zero information. Where do we go next? I have no idea. My gut says that way. Come on! I see an ambulance! Confirmed ambulance site! You'll see the space by the curb where an ambulance was parked just moments ago.
You have any idea where the shooter is?
I was being stonewalled by police, but I couldn't let that stop me. I spoke to a woman who said that she saw a man being escorted through the mall by police. Could this be the shooter? According to the description, he was a male, aged somewhere between 20 and 60. He's either Caucasian or part Latino or something like that. He was wearing some kind of a jacket. And I wrote something else here, but it got smudged. However, that information later turned out to be false. The shooter, if there is one, remains at large. Needless to say, our thoughts are with the victims here today, if there are any, which we don't know yet.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. Or hit us up on Discord. We've had a couple Discord calls tonight. That's always good. Discord sounds like you are here in the studio. You can find out how to hit us at discord.lrn.fm. And you'll have to hit one of our call-in rooms, but if you've got a good PC, a good internet connection, and a microphone,
or just a smartphone,
you'll sound like you are right here in the studio with us, which is really cool. And as always, we've hit on a lot of topics today. We talked about bad laws, and bad laws are universal. You can find them almost anywhere. We've talked about Congressman Omar and her comments. We've talked about New Mexico not paying their legislators, which
that was the claim, but they actually do pay them $164 a day.
But they don't get a salary, Ian. They don't get a salary. They only get $161 for snacks and whatever else they would like to do. But we're going to keep things moving right along by talking to John in Manchester.
Manchester, England?
Manchester,
New
we're
Hampshire?
kind of
Manchester, Connecticut?
I think he's listening on LRN.FM.
Manchester, Vermont?
But we'll find out.
Manchester, New Hampshire.
John, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, that's real funny, guys. Come on. You really don't know which Manchester you're talking about right now.
No, there's like 5 of them in New England. I mean, there's a bunch of Manchesters.
Okay, so
And one in England.
Someone who's calling from Manchester, who's listening to this show, what are the odds that it's Manchester, New Hampshire?
It's higher.
I don't know.
Higher, but it could be one of many.
Well, we already had a guy call from the UK tonight, so he could have been the original Manchester.
That's right.
Nope, that guy was a troll. There's no guarantee he was actually from the UK.
Actually, we
had
have
an
no
accent.
guarantee you're not a troll. But
Yeah.
please, what's on your mind?
So what were you calling about?
Do you guys feel a bit like, I don't know, that it was not totally the coolest thing to do, the whole collecting this kid's name, where he is right now, and where he's going to move to, and then broadcasting it out to everybody? Like,
I didn't.
What would the problem with that be? You're talking about our last caller?
Right.
The 13-year-old?
Yeah. Is that like the best idea?
What's the problem with it?
Yeah.
Do you see an
Well, I
attack
don't know.
factor
This
in
seems
there?
like- I don't know, dude. There seems like this would be like identifiable information for somebody who is a minor.
How would you
And
identify
guys
him?
Just like,
Yeah. So tell me about this kid. You've had
How
like
many
what, a half
people-
hour now
how many-
to do this. Tell me about him.
how many? I've been driving while I'm listening to this, and that's not the point. The point is, if you're going to like broadcast this kid's name, his current,
We don't
city
even
of
know if he
residence,
gave us his real
and where
name.
he's gonna
Right.
we don't. But what are the odds that he gave you a fake name?
Based on our experience, we get fake names every night.
Yeah, what's it matter?
The deal is it's Free Talk Live, and in this country, it's still okay to call
Was
up
there
a talk
even
show.
a last name involved?
No,
Just
there
a
was
first
no
name we're
last.
talking
Yeah, I
There
mean,
was a first name.
I don't even remember the kid's name, but let's say it was Paul. I mean, how is knowing that a 13-year-old named Paul is going to move from a small town in New York to Houston help you with anything?
Right. Or more to the point, if
Well,
he would
I
have
mean,
answered,
you could just go to Houston and look around. It's only the 10th largest city in the United States.
Just stop
You're
all-
bound to find them sooner
Yeah,
or
but-
later.
Stop all
Yeah, but
teenage
how
boys
many-
on the street.
How many 13-year-old boys named Paul are going to be in Houston who have just moved from
New
someplace
York?
in upstate New York? It's
New-
going to be very few. That's going to be identifiable information.
please,
So
New
if you
York.
happen to run into the guy
People
in
are-
Houston, the 10th largest city in the United States,
Right.
and recognize his voice because all you've got is his first name.
Let's keep in mind that New York is the most left state. It's either tied with it's right up there, always neck and neck with California.
It's certainly
what
the most
percentage?
statist state.
Right, but what states are people fleeing? So lots of people are fleeing New York. We know
Yep,
that.
yep, that's true.
And
New
we know
York,
that
California,
Texas
Massachusetts are
is one of the
fleeing.
biggest states for people to move to. I'm just not getting it. What I would invite you to do, though, is to, put your deputy dog hat on and use the next 24 hours and call in tomorrow and tell us exactly how you identified this kid.
And what you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
With the information.
Really. And
No,
that makes me wonder,
that is
too.
not- okay, that is not my concern. Why are you flipping it around like this? You're the.
That's what we
you're the
do.
one-
We're talk show hosts. You call in, we bust your balls.
Thanks for the call, man. Pretty lame. Pretty lame.
I mean, really. I'm trying to imagine the government. That's who could. The FCC could have that call. Not the FCC, but the NSA, right? They could find out. They could probably do some voice analysis.
Voice recognition.
Right?
He sounds like every teenage boy ever. They all sound the same.
But there was a distinguishing.
That's racist.
No, there were a couple giveaways.
No, that wouldn't be
there.
racist.
There were a couple giveaways there. He's upset that he's leaving his friends.
Yep.
And he's upset that he's leaving his girlfriend.
Right.
So now we have
So we
to
know he's not gay.
narrow it down to a 13-year-old who's upset that he's leaving his girlfriend.
Who's a straight 13-year-old.
Right.
Yeah.
We know that.
But he didn't even sound like he was from New York. He didn't have any kind of accent.
I didn't have a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. He didn't have a New York sounding accent at all.
That's a Brooklyn accent.
Well, that's one of them.
There's just so many of them from Brooklyn that we think it's the whole state, but
Yeah.
Exactly.
they're packed in like rats there.
We're going to stay on the phones. Dave calling from New Mexico. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live. David,
Hey,
you're
so
on
you-
Free Talk Live. What's going on?
You did your first on-air dump today, did you?
I did. Would you like to try the second?
Well, if you were Daryl, I'd already be dumped.
Oh, that's not fair.
Just for saying that, I'd already been dumped.
All right.
Anyway,
what's on your mind?
So while this anti-Semitism thing is still hot, there's a bunch of stuff going on there that doesn't really get acknowledged. However, ironically, some Jewish Congress people, I think it was, kind of broached the subject today that they didn't think that what Omar said qualified as anti-Semitism, which is kind of something I've been saying for a long time. Is
That's
to me,
what Bernie Sanders said, and he's absolutely right. She was criticizing the government,
right?
Not, Semites.
Yeah. So, but I don't understand the whole thing because, I mean, to me, if you just observe the obvious, if Jews are like 2% of the population, but they're whatever they are, they're 10%, they're 20%, 30% of government, media, corporate, whatever. They're an inordinate percentage of things that have power, and kudos to them. So they're good at what they do. However, when it's government, and you're an inordinate percentage, there's kind of an argument that's created, like minorities saying that it's, I've been criticized forever as a white person because minorities say that, we control 90-some% of everything, but we're only 65% of the population or something. So it's kind of the same thing. So to a degree, it's a valid argument. But if you use that argument on Jewish people, that the same argument that minorities have been using against white people that are not Jewish, then all of a sudden you're an anti-Semite. But when it's the a colored minority criticizing the white majority, the white majority doesn't yell that you're an anti-whatever. So
I know.
How did that all...
Some white
tough
people
being a
yell
cracker.
a
Some of
lot.
them do.
Hey, thanks for the call.
We pledge allegiance to one flag, and that flag is the American flag.
Did you know the official national American flag has never been manufactured for retail stores? The one that Americans fought and died for. The one symbol that represents our Constitution. Now you can be a part of this great movement that's never been seen before. Together, we'll recapture America. Call 1-877-383-4777 or visit theofficialflag.com. Theofficialflag.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. So if you would like to join the show, if you would like to share your thoughts, if you have anything you'd like to bring up that we've talked about tonight, or anything that's on your mind, please do so. In studio, it's myself, Chris.
I'm Ian.
And Rich Paul.
And, there's just something about any story that starts out with the two words Florida man, usually followed by drank beer with alligator and got in car accident. I mean, it never disappoints.
It's the adventures of Florida man, the world's most helpless and irresponsible superhero.
Well, one AA affiliate of the Miami Marlins is going to take advantage of this by holding Florida Man Night, which I thought was kind of creative. This is going to be a night where one law will be broken per inning, and it's actually coming to a minor league ballpark. This comes to us from CBSSports.com. If you don't know about Florida Man, here's a rundown. It's a meme that pokes fun at all of the crazy headlines that come out of Florida from people getting arrested for weird things. Or, if you ask the television show Atlanta, it's the one man who's also a government operative. Whatever you choose to believe, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, I guess that's their name, and that's kind of funny, the Miami Marlins AA affiliate are hosting Florida Man Night. In what is one of the weirder promotions out there, the team will break, quote, a weird Florida law every inning, unquote.
Wow.
On July 26th, according to the team. And this
it's like mass civil disobedience in Florida. Why weren't they doing this when I was here?
And this is coming this summer. So, Ian, you kind of have some say in the purse strings. I think Rich and I might want to be on hand.
I think we should go down there and simulcast.
I think we should. I think it would be a great move.
I love
we
civil
can do a
disobedience.
theme song for them. Florida man does whatever a Florida man does.
If nothing else, it's certainly a unique idea.
Now, are they listing any of the laws that they're planning on breaking?
We'll get into that.
Okay, good.
Mopery with intent to gawk.
This is making me actually interested in going to a sports game. Like, this would actually make me want to go to a sports game.
You'll go watch sports ball.
Yeah, if they break some laws while they're doing it, yeah,
that's
I'd be
what
excited
they're claiming.
about that.
Although announcing you're committing crimes is quite the power move. Now, there are plenty of laws that are very breakable while also being harmless. Florida is full of dumb laws. Every state is.
It's true.
Some of them are incredibly harmful. For example, it's illegal to sell your children in Florida. I don't think anybody would really argue with that too much.
Rothbard would have at certain points in his career,
I know,
but
right?
there are other times when he would have disagreed with himself.
That law probably will not be broken on Florida Man Night. On the lighter side, if an elephant is left tied to a parking meter, you have to pay for the elephant like it's a vehicle, so that would be a show. Right?
I would tie an elephant to a parking meter.
Well,
if
that's
I had
what I'm saying.
Elephant,
If they could, just put a parking meter on home plate and tie up an elephant to it, they would be breaking the law in Florida. Women also can't parachute on Sundays, so you could get some parachutes, some skydivers in, female, and have the game on a Sunday. They could do that, which sounds more like Parks and Recreation. There are tons of other stupid laws out there. Men not being able to wear strapless gowns in public, and no singing in public while wearing a swimsuit might be some of the other laws we end up seeing broken.
So they're speculating. They don't know.
They are speculating, but I thought it would be an interesting exercise because I know, Ian, you're originally from Florida.
I am, yeah. Rich Paul lived in Florida as well.
Did you?
Yeah,
really?
I lived in Florida from like 94 to 2005.
Yeah, we didn't know each other, but we weren't far from one another. You in what, Tampa Bay?
I started out in the Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete area, and then around the turn of the century, I guess, I moved to Orlando.
So I don't know if this one's still on the books, but it was illegal at one point to have oral sex.
In Florida?
In Florida. I don't know.
Well, at one point, it was illegal to have oral sex in every state in the nation, I'm pretty sure.
We're pretty close to it. But yeah, I'm sure, and I guarantee you, whoever you are listening at home, if you were to go through and look at some of the laws that are in your state or in your town, you're going to find some that are pretty ridiculous. And I was just kind of looking through here, and this is a ranker list of stupid laws in Florida.
I can't imagine being in jail for tasting the bean. That's just.
Have you ever heard of have you ever heard of a key deer?
No.
Okay, it's
What is
obviously a deer that probably lives in the Keys. In the town of Big Pine Key, it's illegal to molest a key deer. So that's all.
But you can
says.
molest the other deer.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Okay.
What do you call a deer with no eyes?
I give up.
No idea.
This one has a bit of a New Hampshire swing to it. It's illegal to have sexual relations with a porcupine.
In New Hampshire or in Florida?
No, we're still in Florida.
Okay.
Now, honestly,
wow,
that has
you
its
would
own
have
punishment.
to have nuts the size of melons to try to have sex with a porcupine.
I think that would hurt even more if you did that.
I know. And here they actually refer to the elephant on a parking meter law. If an elephant is left tied to a parking meter, the parking fee has to be paid just as if it were a vehicle.
That's a real law in Florida?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Did your town not have lots of, I guess, elephants wandering the streets in search of places to park?
Well, Florida is also where a lot of carnivals and
The circuses, right.
go in the when they're in the winter. I
Ringling
suppose.
Brothers, actually, one of those guys had a whole museum dedicated to fancy artwork.
I'll bet it was those guys who left their elephant tied to a parking meter and messed it up for the rest of us.
Number 4.
They probably
here,
left him there for like 3 days.
selling your children, again, gets brought up on this list. Molestation of trash.
You see, the thing is, if you would sell your children, I don't think you should have them. So
that's a good point.
There's a certain. It's just I don't know. There would have to be like good people to outbid the bad people, but.
In Florida, it is illegal to corrupt the public morals as is defined as a nuisance and is declared a misdemeanor offense. Corrupting the public morals.
They're gonna need to define
That's what I
that.
do.
I know.
Yeah.
No, they're government. They don't need to define that. They can leave it undefined
Yeah, good point.
and then hit you with anything they want. If you notice a ice cream man attempting to sell his cold concoctions in a cemetery, call the police immediately because that is illegal in the town of Destin.
See, Florida Man would be my Exhibit A if they ever accused me of corrupting the public morals. Is I would bring in a whole string of Florida Man articles, and and I'm pretty sure that nothing I do could possibly corrupt the morals of the people who were out selling. Good God, there were people out selling salt as meth. Rock salt for meth.
Man.
This
was a Florida Man.
This list
thing.
also confirms another one on the other one. Men must not be seen publicly in any kind of strapless gown. So I don't know what kind of gowns you typically wear, Rich.
Are they saying he has to carry a gun? It can't. Because, if you're going to walk around in some parts of Florida in a gown and you're a man, you might want to be strapped.
Persons may not be inappropriately attired who work at hot dog stands, so keep that in mind.
This could go on forever. I think we need to do something else.
There's always something with Florida Man. But we'll be back. We've got one more segment to go, and if you'd like to hear you on the radio, 855-450-FREE, this is Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. In our last segment, last hour, if you want to talk, you better pick up the phone, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. But, Ann, you brought up a story a little earlier. You seemed like you were a little interested in at least touching upon. I think we were...
Which one, the Russian story?
Yeah, we had bounced around on the Russian story, but... who knows? We can either go with that or we can go to something else.
Yeah. I got a little bit more that I thought was worth sharing about, just to give some people some perspective. I mean, some people say on Free Talk Live that we're too critical of the United States and, we've got it pretty good here. And of course, we've pointed out that the U.S. has been falling on the list of economic freedom rankings and falling on the list of personal freedom rankings.
But we're number 18, just doesn't have the same ring to it.
It actually moved up in the 2018 numbers to number 17. So finally it stopped the fall and has actually bumped up one from 18 to 17.
This is
but the point is well
freedom?
taken that, it's better than Venezuela here.
That's true.
It's better than Cuba. It's better than North Korea. It's better than a lot of places.
It is.
And Russia. It's
and
better
Russia.
than Russia.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I do want to say thanks to Mike Sylvia, who is a Free Talk Live, another platinum amplifier. $25 a month is what he gives to the AMP program. The AMP program is a way for you to support what it is that we do here on Free Talk Live. So if you like the fact that we're on the radio 7 nights a week talking about freedom and you want to help us with that, then please join the AMP program for $5 a month over at amp.freetalklive.com. Like Mike Sylvia, who is, by the way, not just your average amplifier, he's also the guy who is a state representative. He's one of the libertarian, pro-liberty. He's a Republican, but he's basically a total voluntarist from what I can tell. State representative. He won the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. They give out an award. Now, as you pointed out, Rich, there's 400 state representatives, and the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is a freedom-friendly organization that ranks every single one of these state representatives. They give them a letter grade. Like you used to get a report card. Well, these guys give out a report card to all 400 state reps and the 24 state senators here in New Hampshire. And Mike Sylvia, last year, 2018, he won the Legislator of the Year, the Liberty Legislator of the Year Award, which means he is not only an A-plus rep, but he is the top A-plus rep of all of the A-plus reps. And he's a Free Talk Live listener and amplifier, so what an honor.
That was the guy who got me to wear a tuxedo.
How was he behind that?
To the 420s?
To the 420 rally.
And he came out and toked up with us.
Well, that's the thing, is he told me if I showed up in a suit, he'd come out and toke with us. And he was a sitting legislator, and I said, a suit, hell, I'll show up in a tuxedo.
So that was one of my first events I ever attended here in New Hampshire after moving up here, was the 420 rally down in Concord. And that was the year that you were in a tuxedo.
It was a good year.
It cracked me up because I saw, a number of legislators taking a hit, and that was really, really cool. It wasn't like they were hiding from anybody.
No, I don't feel bad about outing him because he let me take a photo of him and use that on the front page at Free Keene. So, it was obvious that he was participating. He wasn't trying to hide it.
And this was on a Sunday, and those guys were dressed in suits, and they had their official name tags for the representatives.
Was it on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was not a, it wasn't. It was, they went out of their way to make sure that they let people know where they stood, and
which I really appreciated. And he spoke, I believe. More than one legislator spoke that year. I think.
And but Mike's he's a great guy. He's a straight shooter. He's one of those people that anytime I see him, we always take 10 or 15 minutes just to chat because he's just really supportive of
nice.
Anything anybody does. And
so thanks for being an amplifier, Mike, and thank you to everybody who amps the show at amp.freetalklive.com. What you got over there, Chris?
Oh, I got a phone call, and this is Joe in Chattanooga. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Welcome, Joe.
We're good.
How are you listening tonight? Are you listening to WGOW?
102.3?
I don't know what it is. 102.3.
Excellent.
FM2.
Great station.
So, I called over at you guys about a few weeks ago, but we ran out of time. I'm sorry for calling in so late. But we were discussing the topic of police in America.
Oh, you're the cop, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'd asked you for a call back earlier in the show, so I'm going to try my best to talk about this. Was there a reason you were calling in first and foremost? Because we kind of left our conversation off last time on the war on drugs, and I never really got a chance to talk to you about it. But what were you calling about tonight?
Yeah, no. Well, I was calling you all back to let you know I was going to call back.
Okay.
And earlier, sometime this next weekend, I appreciate you guys, and I like listening to y'all's discussions and stuff like that.
Well, since we've got you now, if you were just calling to let us know you were going to call, let's just talk to you now about this. Because just to bring our listeners up to speed, when it was Joe, right?
Yes.
When Joe called in the first time, and so this is his second time calling. When he called in the first time, he kind of explained his reasons for becoming a police officer, and he wants to stop the bad guys. And of course, that includes rapists and murderers, I'm sure, Joe. But you specifically mentioned that you target drug dealers, and
yes, sir.
And what I wanted to talk to you about was why it is that's not going to really stop anything. Because if you put a drug dealer in jail, all you're going to do is you're going to create a market opportunity for somebody else to fill that drug dealer's shoes. Because ultimately the people in the market, they want drugs and they will pay for them, and someone will fill that role. Am I right, Rich?
And the thing is, let me address this because I am a retired drug dealer. I don't know if you know this. I used to...
you went to jail for it.
I spent a year and a half in jail for selling weed. And the thing about it is, if you bust all of the dealers in town, the people who buy their stuff... if it's hard drugs, if it's heroin or meth, then they're addicts. And so they will do anything to get what they want, including replacing that dealer at his old job.
Right.
So basically all you do by putting dealers in jail is you cause them to make more money.
Right. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, my thought on it is, you don't give up, you don't stop trying.
If it's not working, you should stop, right? Like if what you're doing isn't working, and that is to say that if you take a bunch of people off the streets and put them in a prison cell, but yet the drugs are still on the streets because somebody else is selling those drugs, then you would have to at some point realize that this plan is failing. And if a plan is failing, then it behooves you, I think, to look at the plan and say, well, what are we doing wrong here? Can we do something that would actually accomplish the goal? Because is your goal to stop people from using drugs?
In this line right here, I used to work for group homes for kids.
Right.
And I did it on that end. Now I'm doing it on this end. If I chose a different career later on, I'll do it on that end. But just because the system isn't perfect doesn't mean you give up. I don't believe 100%.
But I want to know what your goal is.
The thing is, it's not that the system isn't perfect. It's that the system is absolutely and completely destructive, okay? One of the things that you do when you outlaw somebody's lifestyle is you make them an outlaw. So as soon as a drug dealer accumulates a certain amount of money, there's going to be an attack on him, and he has to defend himself with violence because you have made him an outlaw. He's outside the protection of the system. Without the drug war, the violence doesn't happen.
Right. I guess that's and Joe. I mean, I've been both sides of this over my life, but 50 years.
Is,
go ahead.
I guess my question is, what's a better solution?
Then I would.
Because I don't
let's
hear
look.
that. Nobody provides a solution. They provide.
we can
it's easier
provide
to
that
tear down a
solution.
fence.
Yeah, but I would look at Switzerland, and I would.
Sorry. Sorry.
That's all right. I would look at Switzerland, and I would look at Portugal, who have decriminalized or legalized drugs to varying degrees, and they quit treating it like a criminal problem and treat it like a healthcare issue.
And it stopped being a criminal problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
no, I'm aware of that. I'm clear on that.
Are you? You are aware? I'm sorry. Just to clarify, Joe, you're aware of what's happened in Portugal with full-on personal decriminalization?
I read the article. I thought didn't they do the same thing in? I thought they said Belize or something like that, South America.
I haven't heard about
There's another
Belize.
country that did the same thing, and they were talking about the statistics on drug use and overdoses dropped substantially.
Dramatically,
But
definitely in Switzerland.
That's hard to know with data and paperwork because when
it's not just data and paperwork. It's the people who go to clinics, the people who are going to see doctors and try to get well. They're more likely to get help in a place like Portugal. And again, we're out of time, so I wish you would call. I wish you would call earlier. We'll hold you over for multiple segments to talk about this. I know you're probably working or whatever. But thanks for the call tonight, man. Call back another time. I appreciate it.
But Switzerland has gone basically down to 0 overdoses of heroin. But
amazing. Thank
you for listening. Free Talk Live.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's a